Okay, so I've just done a quick reset. Yes, I've now took the motherboard off the test bench. I've now got my motherboard lying on its box. We're going to now prep it and get it put in the case. So for those of you who've not seen the first part of this video, it's called Don't Mess, Just Test. What I've got here is a motherboard replacement. The motherboard came from Amazon, but it was an Amazon warehouse stock, which means I wanted a set period of time to test it and get it returned if it was faulty. Anyway, we tested it. It was okay. And now this is the second part of the video where I'm now going to get it assembled in the case, ready to ship back to the customers. So first thing I need to do is put some eyes on. I can see you now. And then I'll get you set up so you can see what I'm going to do. And then there we go. So there I am on the table. Let's just lower you a bit here. Take this down a bit. There we go. There we go. So that's the board on the box. I'm going to clean up the CPU. Sorry about that. Just bear with me a second, guys. Just try and get you an angle. Now I do apologise in the first one that I know I did block your view a few times when I was messing about with that CPU cooler. It normally goes on easy, but sometimes it can just be a bit finicky and a bit fiddly. So I do apologise. Anyway, let's get you. I try to zoom in too much, but obviously when I go in front of the camera, it tries to refocus, and sometimes the pictures go in and out. Right, there we go. So first thing I'm going to do is clean up the CPU, because you seen before I was handling it. Also, if you remembered, I made a classic error when I was testing this board, in the fact that I had another CPU which I wanted to test to see if it worked. And the truth of the matter is that CPU did work, but I forgot to plug in the VGA cable into the port, and so I wasn't getting any video, and I thought that the board might have been faulty. Not the board, the CPU might have been faulty. Well, actually it wasn't, and it turns out that CPU was actually slower than the client's own, this one that's in at the moment. That CPU that I tested, it was only a 3.2 gigahertz. This one's actually a 3.6, so this is a faster CPU. So obviously it's the customers, I'm leaving it in. But that other CPU, like I said, I've had it for a while hanging around from a system that I took out. I wasn't sure if it was still working because it's been floating around upstairs, being moved from pillar to post. But I'll keep it as a testing processor. Should the need arise out of getting all of these systems, you've got to remember, guys, that although systems are moved on, the younger generation, you have all the leanest, meanest, newest stuff. You want all the best, and it's understandable. There's no law against that. You know, I'm not saying don't. But you've got to remember, you've got a generation also of people that have grown up with certain systems and they've had for a while. They're used to it, they're familiar with it. It does a need, and like I said, this one does the customer's need, so I'm quite happy with it. So, you know, not everybody chases the newest thing. Some people are quite happy and content with what they've got. They're just happy to have it. So, there you go. Right, now clean up the CPU, and now just leave that a few seconds while the alcohol evaporates. Now, this is the original fan. It's a 4-pin fan. I have 2 more AMD fans upstairs, bigger ones with copper base, and I was going to put it on, but when I examined it, it was actually a 3-pin fan. So I thought to myself, well, I'll actually take this fan off here and put it on the other one, you know, the other heatsink, which is deeper with a copper bottom. But it turns out that it's also slightly wider, so this wouldn't line up into the actual mounting areas of the cooler, of the heatsink. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to put back on the original fan, which I say is not copper, but I'll also clean this up as well. See, I still do have a protective covering for it, or the client did. You see, that's the kind of client that looks after their system. You know, where most of us throw certain things out, they keep it, because I never know when I'm going to need it. Not that it's absolutely necessary, but each their own, yeah? Everyone's different, everyone's got their own method. And there's nothing wrong with that. Variety, spice of life. So there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm not criticising it in any way, shape or form. But it's just to demonstrate that different people view things differently. And what some of us may just decide we don't want to do, other people are quite happy to do. So I will apply new thermal compound. And you can see the muck coming off that. Now you don't have to get it till it's absolutely 100% spotless, because nothing is absolutely 100% spotless. But we just want to make sure we get good contact so we get the best efficiency cooling we can. So like I say, this is not copper. Copper is actually a better heat dispersal material than this aluminium. So I'll try to get it as clean as possible so we'll get the best cooling as possible. My previous plan went awry, which was to change out this heatsink. But there you go, never mind. Actually, didn't have any heating issues. Heating wasn't the issue with this. But it's good to provide it. Good customer service. So there we go. I think that'll do. So now I'm going to apply some new thermal compound. Yeah. New thermal grease. Yeah. I think it's trying to focus in there. It's nothing. Oops. This thing will focus. You just have to give it a second. That's what I mean about because it's an autofocus. I don't have a way of manually focus this. It's only a little Panasonic V160 camcorder, and I also have to get a move on because if the battery dies, well, I've got another battery. But with this, I don't have the option to actually keep it plugged in while recording, because it uses a USB port and it stops the recording. So let's get a move on before my battery dies. Okay, so my nitrile glove, one clean nitrile glove, right-handed, so I'll put it on my right hand. And that looks good to me. See? Okay. Put that on there because I don't want to get it on my thing. Now this stuff is very messy. Right, so what I'm going to do is paste it on. Actually, I think I might need a bit more. Yeah. I think I might need a touch more. Now I'm not going too liberal, but not too stingy either. Just want to paint the surface so it's just not transparent. There you go. And then just, you got this thermal grease. Once heated up, will become very viscous. But I just want to cover the whole surface of the die. I just want to cover all. Apply it on all the internal heat spreader. Okay, so just get rid of my glove. So I don't need that anymore. And then, if you notice also, I don't apply no thermal grease to the bottom of the heat sink. So now, I want the level this side or that side? I did before. Let's go. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing there, so we'll have the lever this side. Where's the CPU fan? This side. Look at that. So if I have it that way, I'm going to go that way. If I have it that way, I've got to go that way. Okay, so seems like I'll have it the way I probably didn't want it the least. But never mind. It's okay, guy. I'm just waffling to myself. Nothing new. Right. There we go. Now this should. There we are. There we are. Now that's one of the easiest times it's gone on. Okay. So now just do a bit of goes that way. Yeah. So I'll just do a bit of cable management on this. Yep, there we go, I'm happy with that. So I want cable tie here, so I'll give myself and this only needs one really. So beautiful, beautiful. There we go. Let's get that in there. Yeah, that's looking good. I'll just cut that pigtail off. Excellent. Okay, so that's CPU heatsink back on. Thermal tape applied, and as mentioned previously, this has got 4 DIMM slots, 2 blue, 2 black. The 2 blue is one channel, the 2 black one's another channel. Sorry, there you go. I'm in the 2 black one. So now this is running in what we call dual mode, dual channel mode, yeah. So that's how you get dual channel mode. You don't put them side by side. If you put them side by side, then you actually lose the availability of dual channel mode. It only running single channel. So that's dual channel. Right, next thing is what? Nothing else to go on there. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is prep the case and get it mounted. So let's push on. So I need my I/O shield. Let's move that out of the way so we don't have no accidents. So, up comes my laser Susan. Yay. So, the problem with putting 2 and 2 together is sometimes you get 4 and sometimes you get 22. Right, case, let's get that move on. Okay, case on there. again, I apologise for come across the camera. Can't be helped. Right, I'm just going to lay this flat. Let me just take this off here a second. I'm on my static mat. I'm just going to lay this flat, and what I want to see is where my standoffs are. Now, it should be in the same place. Well, yeah, they're in the same place. But what I want to make sure is that this board is very similar in every way. And the standoffs should be in the right place. And before I do that, let's put our I/O shield in. Yeah, like I said, brand new. Remember we tested it? And when I opened it, I could see it hadn't been used. We inserted the I/O shield with the audio. Sorry, I'm trying to get my bearings with this camera. We install the I/O shield with the audio ports to the bottom. Yeah. So with it stood up, you see this cutout here. Yeah. These I/O ports are to the bottom. Now, unfortunately, this is. Take this side off, and then I can work from this side. Otherwise, I'm going to have to work from the other side, and you can't see what I'm doing. I'll be just blocking the camera out. So, if I just whip this panel off. Apologies. So, I/O ports at the bottom. Pick a corner. It will take a little bit of manoeuvring. There we are. There we go. And I'm looking at this, and it's even all the way around. It's protruding slightly. Right, that's that in. Okay. Out of the way, I could actually put the SSD in now, but I'll hang on. Yeah, because this has a weird mounting system. So, right, board. I/O shield. With this, you have to put it in slightly forward, and I think all these can come out the bottom. In there, yes, I can. And right, just try line that. There. And this seems to be as expected. Right, so I'll go ahead and start to line this up. Now, what I'm going to be careful of here while I'm doing this, I'm just manoeuvring into position while watching this cable. What I'm trying to do here is to ensure I lift the case slightly, the board slightly up. And I'm going to, alright, I can see what problem I'm going to have. But I'm just lifting one of the grounding, just lifting them up so they don't foul the ports, which is what was happening. These are very finicky, so you've got to be careful. Yeah, there you go. That was what was going on. Just paying attention. I just need to come down this side of it. Just paying attention. You've just got to be very careful with this, guys, because they are so fragile. I just don't normally take this out. What this board is, the way these. These are the culprits. They are the culprits. They are my culprits. Right. There we go. Just check. Especially the Ethernet one. Let's make sure nothing's. Yeah, I thought so. That middle one on the. And it's well worth you taking your time doing this and checking and double checking, because once you're in and you get lined up, you have to go through all this again if you get it wrong. And that's the last thing you want. Now, there is something foul in this which is telling me that something is sticking in something. Just checking. Yeah, yeah. That's good, that's good. So there's just something resisting on me. Yeah, let's make sure that's that. I'm now going to now everything. Ah, there we go. Right, success. Beautiful. And absolutely every single port is cleared. Right, that's it. I'm sorry about that, but that is a stage that you need to be very, very cautious of, because if I'd have just forced everything, not checked I was putting it in, put it all in, secured it all down, and then not checked it, sent it back to the customers come along and try to push a USB flash drive or his Ethernet cable into there and it can't get in because one of those grounding straps had made its way into the port. And also, what else could have happened is that it could have actually, if it had gone in where the pins are, it could actually cause a short when I powered it up to test it, and then it would have fried the system. And could you imagine trying to go through all what we've just been through? Yeah, so close and then yet so far, just for a second of carelessness. So it's probably that, fussing about with that there, and though it seems to take a long time, doing that, actually, I'm now confident that everything's okay and we shouldn't have any problems. So it's worth it. Sometimes long is short, if you know what I'm saying, if you get that meaning. So now, time to secure my baby. Okay, so I've not done it tight all the way down. If you see, it's still loose, so I can wiggle the board. But from what I can see from these standoffs, they're all in the right place. They're all showing through, so really shouldn't be any problems. But I'm not going to tighten every single one down just yet. I'm just going to get them started. I'm just going to get them started, and then once we've got that done, we'll go through them all. There we go. Right, so da 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 da. Need one here. That is not. Whoops. It's not. There it is. There's a certain one that will in a certain spot. There we go. There we go. Right, now before I go any further, let's make sure I've not got the cables trapped under here. I don't want to be coming back. Oh, that's okay then. In the ground there. The good thing about that is, with it being a micro ATX board, I've got some room to run my cables. This board is not the best for cable management. Well, these systems never were, but we do what we can with what we've got. Yeah, there. So guys, how have we been keeping during this pandemic? Keeping busy? Looks like it's going to rain again. It's getting a bit overcast. I'm losing a lot of light here. And that one's not going in yet. It's lined up because I think it's the wrong screw. There we go. Amazing when you get the right tools. Right screws, how things pan out. Right, happy. The RAM's in, CPU's in. Working in this case is not my greatest joy, I'll admit. Okay, now what I want here is, I'll just stand this up. See, the light's going a bit. Sorry, my bad. Bring it forward again so you can see. I'm just trying to keep the cables as original as possible, untangled. So I'm now attaching. I don't know if you can see. Oh, look at that rain out there! It's absolutely pouring it down now. Which is typical Manchester weather. Yeah. Sorry if things are a bit awkward for you guys. I need a better video system, recording system than this. Unfortunately, I'm not an expert, so I'm running the 4-pin EATX cable at the top here. And let's just make sure that, if I'm not mistaken, the clip should be up to the edge. Yes, it is. You have to make sure, because on some boards they actually rotate it. Normally it's to the edge of the board, which should be standard. But you get some funky manufacturers think that the exception to the rule and want to alter things. So it sometimes can make your task a bit more daunting than it needs to be. So as you can see, not much room for cable management, but what we've got we will use. What we've got we'll use. So I will I can right, let's get the front umbilicals. Let's get these umbilicals hooked up. We can get some. Let's get a move on, yeah. Yes, shall we get a move on? And I've just spotted something which I'm going to have to rectify now before I go any further, which is that this decided to play hooky on me and slip off. Can you hear the rain, guys? Can you hear the rain? Listen to the pouring rain, listen to it pour. Yeah, what happened there was it's a 24-pin connector, but it's got a 20-pin and a 4-pin disconnected, and the 4-pin disconnected, it pushed out when I pushed it in, so I just had to reattach it and reseat it. So that's what I was doing there. Okay, now reset switch. Now the front panel connectors on this side on this one. And I've just got to remember. Right, so the unfortunate thing is I've got to keep the case flat while I hook up these umbilicals because I can't see I can't see the screen print while it's stood up. So unfortunately you can't see what I'm doing, but if you've done this before you know where I'm coming from. So I'm just checking the back, that's a power one there, that's a re-switch, power to this, the plus to this side. So re-switch, bottom, next to the HDD, so that's HDD, that's re-switch, brilliant. HDD LED, I've got HDD LED, HDD LED, power there, that goes there. I hope I'm getting all this right, because if I ain't, I'm going to look a fool. Then I want my power switch, there's some power switch in there. Before that I want the power LED. Do I have a power LED on this one? Can't remember. Is there another switch under there? What's this one here? Ah! Power LED, here we go, power LED. So the power LED, it's the only one that I can actually, put on the pins with the words upwards, because it's actually two separate pins. Whereas the others are in a block, and the way they're designed. Right, and the power switch which was there, which I was using yesterday, so I shouldn't have any problems there. Okay, then I've got the USB, your front USB, bang bang, bang bang. Yeah. Let's put that there. Pin, blank pin downwards, yeah. You've got to make sure you line these up right, because I'm working at such an angle. I'm trying to work as quickly as possible. Because I'm working at such an odd angle, I've got to make sure I get things right. And then the last one is me audio. There's the audio on this. Where's the audio on this? Front panel. Is that audio front panel? Let me see. Where's the pin on that? Second in. Second in. That's the one. This bottom corner. Usually the bottom corner, yeah, but you've always got to double check because you can't take anything for granted. Because, like I said, it's not my system. And if I damage it, it's going to be my bad to repair. Right, that's the umbilicals all hooked back up. Great. So the ATX power on, 24 pin power on, front panels on, front USB on, CPU fan connected to a 4-pin header. Yes, I will tout those cables. So now all I need to do is attach an SSD. Right. Attach an SSD. There is another drive which the client has, which is his data drive. And we're going to attach that here. Yeah. And which one am I going to use? Am I going to use this bottom one? Yeah, I think I'm going to use that bottom one. Yeah. Or shall I use that one up there for easy connection, keeping the cables tidy? Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not indeed? Why not indeed? as his, yeah, keep it up there because it's hard drive. Right, okay, yeah. Because his other drive needs to go in there. Okay. Little bag of tricks. Okay, let me entertain you. Not. Where's those, what's my runner on me? Yes. Let me just check that out. Will that be longer than all? That's 2. Let me just check that out. Okay. Let's see if it'll reach. Okay. Let's get some work done. I keep saying but not doing. Keep saying but not doing. Okay. Just got to find the oh, it's too high up there, son. There we go. I just want to find that. It's just finding the location. The location for the vocation. And then I'll just do opposite corner. You won't do opposite corner because that's not the right hole, that's not the right screw, Michael. I'm just you dumb cough. Yeah, it helps if you get it in the right. It helps if you get it in the right hole. Yeah, that's the only thing with these kind of cases and working with these kind of equipment. Line up the screws ain't that easy as it looks. There we go. There we go. There we go. It's good when a plan comes together, but it ain't half a pain when it's making you look like an idiot. And let's put the other one in, and we've got our secured all 4 corners. I'm not seeing any you can tell them, there you go, you can tell them apart. There you go. No need to. The good thing about SSDs, unlike mechanical drives, there's no there is no issues about heads hitting platters or the weights mounted, which sometimes can be an issue with mechanical drives, especially in a case like this is very flimsy and can't cope with much jostling. So right now, good, and then we're ready. We'll just connect this up now. I need a oh, you know what I forgot? You know what I forgot to bring? Well, I'm not forgot to. I know actually I've got one in the box here, haven't I? SATA cable. It's in the box. Yes. New one. So I don't want none of them. I don't want no molets. God, I wish I'd get rid of molets. I wish to get rid of moletses now. Right, so in the right orientation. There we go. That's that connected. I will tie that down. That will look neat when I'm finished. Right, I'm going to turn it down to there, and right. Might as well use it. It's the client's. It's his. It is his. Oh, the rain stopped. Sorry guys, back to you again. Bad habit, keep forgetting. Do apologise. Oh, it's two SATA cables. Well, that's okay. That's good. Put that other one back in the box. Don't need that. Right, and more or less done. So I'm going to, because this is there. I'll use that. I'll do that. Because this is there. Let me see how this is angled. If it's angled like that, it's coming out like that, isn't it? So that's no good to me, is it? So that one will have to go in the board. Okay, I was looking at putting the oh, they give you two. They give you two types. Right, they give you two types of SATA cable on here. They give you one with a right angle, yeah, to a straight, and then they give you another one which is just straight to a straight. See that? One's at a right angle and straight, yeah? And if you look at that end, this is the one with a right angle, you look at that end, it's a straight end. If you look at this one, on the straight end, it's also a straight end. Yeah? So you've got two, and I was actually thinking of putting this right angle one onto this SSD, but unfortunately it's coming out of the case, out this side, so it won't sit right. It's coming out, the way it's got to be attached, it would be coming out of the case like that, so it's no good. And if I did, I could get away with that, well then that's putting stress, bending the cable in different sections, so I'm going to have to use the straight ones. It's just the way it's coming out, and it puts stress on the cable. I'm trying to make the system as efficient as possible, without the need for any further intervention from me. So there we go, that's on. And because that's a straight edge, I'll go straight down this side. And that's our storage back on, so just get the windows installed. I will get windows installed, and then obviously we'll then have to communicate with Microsoft. It'll be an automated thing, because obviously we have now put a new board in, and it's going to say, oh, I recognise that hardware, but I don't recognise that motherboard. Is that a new motherboard, son? Are you trying to install it on another PC? Are you trying to install this illegally? I'll say, no, my friend. We had an issue with the motherboard, so we've had to change it. Oh, right, so that's that ready. Stop your waffling, Michael. That's that ready. That's good. There's not a lot of thing I can do there. I'll tidy that up after. Tidy that up round there. Keep that there. Right, okay, so let's get this back panel back on, because I do not need it anymore. I do not need to be around here anymore. What I've got to do, right, I'll just put a cable tie around here, just to keep it neat. Yeah, just keep everything tidy, neat. Take the pigtail off. Yeah, don't need to do anything more with that. No, don't put stress on the cable because the sharp edge is there. Okay, we'll just see if there's another way I can do it. Unfortunately, with some of these cases you have limited cable options, so you've got to make the best of what you've got. Plus also the type of power supply you've got and how the cables are can be... I'm just going to put this down, it's going to make my job easier. I'm sorry guys. Right, okay. Just check. Yeah, I'm happy with that. This, by the way, has got a clutch on it, and it stops. I've got it set on 3, and it stops when it gets there. Right, so that's that. You know what? That's not in here. My bad, sorry guys. I've just noticed something. I'll just make sure it's not there. That's the cool thing about electric drivers. It saves you a lot of repetitive strain injuries, doesn't it? No, I'm just not happy with this part. There we go, that's better. I just wasn't happy with the panel, it just didn't seem to be sitting right. There we go, that's it. That's it. Just didn't seem to be sitting right. I just noticed that when I stood it up. It felt like it went on right. Oops. Helps if you engage the right direction for your screwdriver. And now what I'm going to do is get windows installed. Should have to do windows, and then I'll finish the rest off camera. I'll finish the rest up off camera and get it sent back off to the client. Right, now it seems that I have, any time I want to do stuff, there always seems to be some sort of issue. When I do this stuff off camera, maybe it's the camera, maybe it's a psychological thing. When I do this stuff off camera, it's pretty quick and straightforward. But now that I'm doing it on camera and recording it to put up on YouTube, it seems I have issues, doesn't it? But that's good, because sometimes you do have issues, so it's real life. It's real life. Right, so let's get this set up and then we're going to get windows installed. Right, so now I'm going to get windows installed. So let's not make the classic mistakes of not putting our video output cable in, yes? So let's get this plugged in first. this board does support HDMI as well as VGA, and HDMI, VGA and DVI-D. So it does support 3 connections, which is good. Let us get a keyboard and mouse. With a bit of luck we should have no battery issues this time, yeah? Because I've only just put some new batteries in. If you remember, it died on me. Which was very embarrassing, and I do apologise. But these things happen in life. If we knew what was around the corner, we'd get boring. Life would get boring, wouldn't it? We wouldn't know what to expect. Which we don't know what to expect, should I say. But we'd know what to expect if we knew what was around the corner. And then that would become boring, because we know what's going to happen before it happened. Right, this is a keyboard and mouse set. This ties together, so it needs one dongle. Now there is an actual, I've been looking into an actual rechargeable set where you don't actually have these batteries. It's got the lithium battery inside the keyboard and mouse, and you just charge it via USB. I'm looking into getting that. I prefer that instead of having to keep messing about with batteries. Right, so that's our keyboard and mouse. I've got my Windows installer disk, and if a lot of you are aware of a gentleman called Kerry Holzman, he's got a thing called a Win Optimizer application which I purchased, and I've got it on my flash drive. It's part of my utilities. It's part of my battle to configure it, not battle, but my tools to help me configure PCs to get them as optimal as possible. Right, so we have got our VGA cable in this time, so we shouldn't have that issue what we had yesterday. Well, yeah. And let me just put the monitor. I need to see the monitor myself, but I also want you to get to see it. Right, so let's put some power to the system. Now, there's nothing here actually to see, so I can actually just put this. No, I'm going to plug that in. It's in the off position. It is in the off position. I'm checking. Right, plug that in. I'm just wondering if I need to keep this up here, because there's nothing to see. I'm just going to be installing Windows, and all you want to see is what's happening on the screen, isn't it? Making sure it's installed. You've seen what's in, so yeah. I'll put this down here. I'll just put this on the floor in front of the camera. I'll just bring the screen a bit closer. There we go. So you can see what's happening. And we'll go ahead and get my Windows disk ready. No, in fact, I'll leave it up so you can see it. I'll leave it up. I'll just rearrange things a little bit better so you can see. So, if I put the PC up here, like so, run the cables behind the monitor. Okay guys, just get myself organised here slightly. Yeah. These things happen, we swap and change. Right, put that behind the monitor, that's just a power cable for that. This, right, okay. Yeah, okay, we can see what's going on now. And I just want some room for my keyboard and mouse. We've got the top here. I just hang this side so I can see. Right, okay. Nothing's on at the moment. Right, everything's plugged in. Keyboard and mouse in. VGA cable this time so we can actually see. This is all plugged in. Right, I'm just going to turn the main power on. And what we're looking for is the screen indicator telling you it's on. And then you'll see a display there and it's telling you no signal. but that's okay. So, yes, it's just activated, and then we should get a thing here saying no VGA signal. There you go, power saver mode. Right, okay. So I'm happy with that. So let me put the feet up on this, because I like the feet up. I don't like to work too. I don't like it too flat. Let me just move it a bit closer to there a second. So we've got a bit of room here. Okay. Now I'm going to power up. In fact, I'm going to put my, this is a SanDisk Extreme US 3.1 flash drive. In fact, I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to use a fast port on the back, simply because I've got it and I don't see the point in messing about. So just sticking a port on the back there, and power on the power supply on the back of the PC. Nothing's come on, which is great. That's what I like to see. And if I've connected on my front panels correctly, they should now boot up when I press the button, and it does. Now this may either go, this will either go into the BIOS, or it'll say there's no boot drive, boot menu, or it'll find the right, no, press the key. Right, so what I need to do is to mash up Dell. Is it F12 for boot device? F8, boot menu, F8. Right, okay, I've got it now. Win, hold, Dell, and we'll also be mashing F8. And see if it recognises my flash drive. Yeah, there you go. USB SanDisk. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now you notice I've also not connected up my Ethernet cable, because I don't want to. And here we go. That's my Windows 10 disk there. Because I don't want it to ask me to create a Microsoft account, which I don't want to. It's not my machine. I do have a Microsoft account, but it's my Microsoft account, and I only use it for certain things. So I'm going to show you how to install Windows. Right. Now, make sure you read everything before you continue. Don't just press next, next, next. So the language to install is British United Kingdom, not British US. Yeah, United Kingdom. Time and currency format, English United Kingdom. Keyboard or input method, United Kingdom. So we're happy with that. Okay, so now we click next. Then it's going to say install. See, you've got a choice there, repair your computer now. But we're not repairing the computer, it's a new computer. So we're going to install now. Right, then it's saying please activate Windows. Yeah, so if you read this, if you've done this before, you know, if this is the first time you're installing Windows on this PC, you're installing a different edition, then you need to enter a valid Windows product key. Well, if you look right down here, it says I don't have a product key. So I click that, I don't have a product key. Now it's asking me, well, when you do have a product key, which edition of Windows are you going to be putting on? Well, this is Windows Pro, not Home. It gives you the option to put in several different versions of Windows, but I'll be using Windows 10 Pro, 64-bit of course, no 32-bit no more. Then we click next, so make sure Windows 10 Pro is selected, and then we click, can you see that, guys? Let me just, I try not to zoom in too much because then you start getting flicker. Let me see if I can zoom you in a bit. I'm trying to do it so you don't get, it doesn't become too distorted. Okay. Right, yeah, so you zoom in on the screen because that's what we just need to see what's happening. Let me just, I'm trying to angle it so you can see, but I need to see it as well. Make sure I don't hit any incorrect keys, yeah? Okay, so a bit of luck now you can see. There you go, turn that a bit. Okay, right, okay, so Windows 10 Pro and then click Next. Right, you've got to accept this, otherwise you can't go any further. So you need to accept the license key, click Next. And I'll leave you to read all that, yeah. And probably I'll see you this time next week when you finish reading it, okay? So we click Next. And upgrade Windows, keep file, well we're not. We're doing a custom install. Windows only. So there you go. And there it shows us our solid state drive that I put in. Yeah, which you know is a 240 gig. So we're doing it on there. So that's the drive. So all we do is click Next because it's got no partitions, nothing on it. And now what Windows is going to do is going to partition it and everything, install Windows files, and then carry on with the setup. So as you can see, it's not taking really too long, even for a system of this age. But don't forget, we're not using a mechanical drive. If that was if we were using a mechanical drive, I don't even think we'd be at this stage yet. But because we're using an SSD drive, see, it has a bit of oomph to it. And then what I'll do when I take this back to the client, well, the client himself will do it. He's quite competent. He had them. His original drive he's kept because it's got OS on it. It's got information on it. Obviously, he doesn't want to be seen or anyone else having access to it, which is quite understandable. So I did suggest to him when we were in conference, when we were thinking of all the different options for the system, that it boots from an SSD drive and then uses hard drive as a data drive for his videos and files and all that. And he says, yeah, I went with that, so that's why I put an SSD drive in. When he gets it back, he will then lift the data off. He will then lift his data, sort out what he wants, take it off that drive, reformat it because it's actually got Windows on it. He'll then reformat it and then use his mechanical drive as a data drive. And then later on, he can either reach out to me or he can probably do it himself. Go and get a solid state drive and put it in as a data drive. But like he said, he for what he wants, he doesn't need sort of anything more. He said he's hoping to see his day out with this and vice versa. Then why not? If it's serving its purpose, why not? So kudos to him, yeah? Kudos to him for thinking of the environment, not just himself, as well as himself. He's happy with it. It's protecting the environment. Okay, so now let's see now. Let's start. Region correct. United Kingdom, yes. Right. Is this the right keyboard layout? United Kingdom, yes. Do you want to add second keyboard? Skip. Let's connect it to the network. No. So if you look there, it's saying Ethernet not connected. It wants you to connect to a network, but the moment you do that, it's going to want you to create a Microsoft account, and it's going to want to do all sorts of fandangle things in the background. So we're not yet. So if you look down here to the left, it says I do not have internet. Well, that is actually a hyperlink. It's not just text. It's an actual hyperlink, and if you click on it, you see how the point changes to a hand, because it's actually a hyperlink. I do not have internet. You click on that. It says just a moment. Then it says there is more to discover when you connect to the internet. It's trying to force you to connect to the internet. See, it's trying to force, and it's telling you, oh, you've got advanced security. You know, it's giving you all sorts of reasons why you should connect to the internet. But we not want to connect to the internet. You've got in a big brown, in a big blue box, white letters. Connect now, and you know. So you were thinking, oh, I'll go put my internet in there because it wants me to connect. It won't go any further. Well, it will actually. If you look to the left again, it says continue with limited setup. Now, don't worry. It doesn't mean you won't get all the functions of Windows. You still will. But what you're telling it is, I don't want to connect to the internet. I don't care what you say. I'm not connecting to the internet. So it says, well, if you continue, you're going to have limited functions, limited setup. Don't let that scare you. Just click it. Again, that's a hyperlink. So it says who's going to use this PC. Well, obviously it's my client, but I'm not going to put his name in, you know, because he asked me not to. So I'm just going to put user in, and then he can change it when he gets it back. So I'll just put user. Okay, and click next. I don't want a password. He can do that himself. Right. Use online speak recognition. No, don't use online speak. I'm not. Accept. It's asking for a load of things. This is all things that Microsoft wants to do to snoop on you. That's one of the reasons why it's asking you to connect to internet. Because the moment you connect to internet, it starts collecting data about you, you know, your users and all the activity. By having limited setup, which you haven't, you will have all the setup you want. Don't you worry about that. But we're going through this process. Plus, also, if anything sort of like goes wrong, if say actually the board decide that it's going to die or something happens, if you'd like entered your product key at the start of it, it would have, and then connected to the internet, it would immediately have activated and all the rest of it. And then say you know the problem with the board, and you have to RMA the board back. Yeah, you get another board. He's going to say, well, hang on, this is the third board you're trying to activate with this key and all the rest of it. So that's why you do certain things. If you follow this method, certain things. You will get the best. You'll have a more seamless installation. You'll sort of like get the best options for your system. And if anything do go awry, yeah, you're not already committed in certain ways. You can still rectify it without actually being committed to say having to buy another product key because Windows have said this. Even though if you just phone up Microsoft and tell them, you know, explain the situation, they will do it. But what I'm saying is, it ends up giving you a longer process that you don't need to. So if you do it this way, you find the process a lot easier. So now it says, let Microsoft and apps use your location. No, accept that. Find my device, not at the moment, no. Can't find my device, because if you say yes, I know it's going to ask you to connect up to the internet so you can do it. Anything you say yes to is it's going to want you to connect to the internet, because it's going to say, well, you can't carry on without this, and you'll have to do the installation again, which you won't. But it's going to tell you certain things. Send diagnostic data to Microsoft. Basic. Accept. Improve. No, we don't want no winking. Get tailored experience with no, I don't want that. See, it's making you jump through a lot of hoops, and a lot of people just keep pressing yes, and before they know it, you know, they wonder why they're getting certain emails and certain things, and they wonder why certain things are known about them, and they're getting all sorts of rubbish. It's because they don't actually take the time to read this. They just want to get the installation done. They just click yes to everything, and it's not yes. It's actually no. Right. Do more cross device. No, we don't. No, thank you. Let Cortana. We don't need that Cortana. Not now. Hi. We're getting a few things set up now. I can actually remove my flash drive because it actually finished with a flash drive. I'm just going to let it. I'm just going to let it finish doing what it's got to do. So you can see that really, even for a system this old, with the right hardware, you can see why he's still quite happy with it, because it's no slouch by any means. I mean, it's no greyhound, but it's no slouch by any means, and you can see here it's quite responsive, fairly responsive for a PC of this age. And because I say we've got a solid state drive in there instead of a hard drive, which would be a lot slower because of read-write access time, you know, it makes the system quite smooth, and it's also quiet because there's no mechanical drive spinning up. So that's another reason why we text harp on about solid state drives. It's more reliable, it's quieter, and it's more energy efficient. And especially if for those that do not want to leave their system on all the time, which is something we recommend as techs to people that are using mechanical drives for both the operating system and for data, because as previously said, most hard drive failures start at boot up. So you can see we're there at the desktop now. Yeah, I'm going to unplug my flash drive. And there it is. Eject extreme. There you are, safe to remove the drive. There you go. So that's my flash drive, so that's that done. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to get some updates for this board. So now, only now, am I going to plug in my Ethernet. So that's the installation done of Windows. So we've got that done, no problems. Yeah, we've got that done with no issues so far. So everything's looking decent. So now, what I'm now doing, I'll just zoom back a bit now. You've seen that. I'll just zoom back a bit now so you can see what I'm doing next. I'm going to connect up my Ethernet. Sorry, once again I do apologise for walking across. So the next bit is just basically PC maintenance. When I say PC maintenance, I'm going to get all my updates and the likes. So let's plug. I'm not fully pushed it in yet, but there should be that bulb there, shows you I've not connected into the internet. Now providing you can find the drivers, the basic drivers in Windows work, there you go, network, see? Do you want to allow your PC to be discoverable? No. You see now it knows that we've got internet connections on. No, I don't want it to be discovered. See, it told it was setting up network. It was setting up network seats there, internet. And it just told it was setting up, search for display drivers. Right, okay. So what's happening now? Believe it or not. Let me just close that out. What's happening now? You see the activity light. We can see it on the front of the system. It's flickering. What's going on there? Believe it or not, even though I've not clicked update Windows yet. Windows is actually updating. It is actually now searching in the background on the net, getting all drivers and everything. You see before there it says device is ready, keyboard. Well, that's for the mouse and keyboard. It's just going to got that. But it also said it was searching for display drivers. Yeah, keyboard, setting up device. We're setting up the keyboard. Searching for display drivers. You see it there. So that's what's happening in the background now. Okay, so that's what's going on in the background there, searching for drivers. Now I'm actually going to go into, I'm actually going to go down here, settings, and then I'm just going to expand that out a minute, and updating security, and your device is missing, right, check for updates. Now we're going to start. I mean, it is actually doing updates in the background. Then when I say check for updates, it's going to have a list there of updates that it's been searching for. It's telling me that there's no updates available. We'll continue for new updates. At the same time, it's contradicting itself. Your device is missing important security and quality fixes, which it is doing in the background. But then when I now click this, we're going to see a list of updates that it's going to want. So we're going to check a second, checking for updates, and then you're going to see a list. And as you can see there, never mind, I know there's a red text there saying this and that, but it's just to be expected from Windows. But as you can see now, you can see all the text there, those are all updates. So it's telling me updates available. So that's what it was doing in the background as soon as I put the cable in, the Ethernet cable in, that's what it was checking for, and that's why you've got that. So we'll leave the Windows now to do that. So this is going to take, well, hopefully not too long with this system, but we'll see. Right, so there we go. Windows up to date, it says. I'll just do another check. So I'll just do a check again, just to make sure we've got all the updates. Checking for updates. So we just do that, yeah. See, right, okay, so it says there you're up to date. So let's see if we've got all the drivers. So now what I'm going to do, I'm now going to check to see if we've got all the drivers for this board. Remember I said I won't want to use a disk. You normally get it all off the web. So what we do here, if we just right click the Windows button, or the Windows Start button, and we look for Device Manager, click that. And then what we're looking for, as you can see here, we're looking for any items with exclamation marks against them. So let's look at audio and input, yeah, all clear. Computer, yeah, all clear. See, there's no, usually if there's an exclamation mark, the actual item will be open with the exclamation mark against it. We're just checking ATI, that's the built-in graphics on the board, that's the built-in board. So that's what it is, so yeah, as you can see we've got it. So we've got everything. Keyboard and mouse is just plug-in keyboard. So yeah, as you can see, it's the processor running is an AMD quad-core. Yep, it's a quad-core processor. So software devices. Let's check. Yeah, so we're good to go, guys. We're good to go. So that's it. Okay, so that's the board. There's the board installed. All the updates done. And then all that's left for me to do now is to pack it, wrap it and tap it, yeah, as the saying goes. So that's it, guys, so there you go. So that's replacement board done, replacement board come in. So just to recap, especially for anyone that's just seen this part of the video, not the first part, just to recap, client with a faulty board, had to replace the board. Unfortunately, this incident happened during the pandemic. Problems getting board. The board that we actually went online to order was actually out of stock. Had to wait for a while. Obviously, I communicated this between the customer, communicate this to the customer, and we communicated to each other. And okay, we went along with everything. So he was prepared to wait. Finally the board came, but it was a board from Amazon warehouse, so we didn't know what state the board was in, whether it was a used board or not. Anyway, it turned out the board had never been used, so my theory is that it probably was ordered. Either it was ordered and the order was cancelled, or it was ordered and, as with Amazon sometimes, you know, the driver sort of like probably tried to deliver it somewhere where he shouldn't have done. You know, got their address mixed up, or it got lost in post, whatever. And after a certain time, when things get lost in post, if it sits in the post office and not collected, it's then shipped back to its original sender, which in this case was Amazon. Because it's shipped back, Amazon don't put it back in stock as new, even though it's never been used and it is new. They then put it in what they call Amazon warehouse, which means it's end of line, it's a discontinued line. So they sell it off. So it comes from the Amazon warehouse. Got it on the warehouse. Got it from Amazon warehouse. Like I said, we didn't know what state it was in. You see, we took it out here, tested it, was happy with it, and then now it's all back in the case, assembled. All the updates applied, and now we're ready to go. So that's it, guys. I will do all the cable management off camera and all the rest of it. You don't need to see that, it's boring stuff. And until my next video, bye for now. Take care. Look after each other. Be kind to each other. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now. Bye.